Yeah. So welcome to decision making day 3, and especially the last 2 days we have been diving deep into decision making. I'm sure that something within us will change as we go through these sessions, right? And when we are about to take a decision, maybe some of these insights will come and surface within us, and it will help us to take better decisions. So on that note, let's start today's session. And the first speaker, welcoming Usha Krishnan. Yes, welcome, Usha.
Yeah. Thank you, Manoj. Good morning, all of you. Today, I would like to share with you some of my insights regarding decision-making skills. When we feel like to uh, take up a decision, when we feel that in a confusion that to do or not to do, or to be or not to be, or otherwise I can say when we don't know what to do at a proper time. So there comes the significance of taking up a proper decision. Even in Shakespeare's Hamlet, the to do or not to do phrase has been so beautifully explained regarding the confusion of taking a choice between life and death. What is decision making? I got really impressed by these words by Wilfred A. Peterson, an American writer. Decision is the spark that ignites an action. Until a decision is made, nothing happens. Decision is the courageous facing of issues, knowing that if they are not faced, problems will remain forever unanswered. It's rightly said, when we feel that when we realize the existence of problems, first of all we will be in a confusion. Then we will be thinking that what to do and how to deal with that. So many ideas will come to our mind, and suddenly a spark ignites us, and we will say, okay, oh, this is the solution. So definitely it is rightly said that decision making is the spark that ignites an action. Why can't we make good decision at times? Especially, as I said, when there are so many solutions or so many suggestions coming in front of us regarding a particular issue, we will again feel that we are in a quagmire of so many solutions. From these solutions, how to come out and to take up with picking up one particular solution. There we are getting in a confusion. So we can say quagmire of problems will make us to think of making a proper decision. And when we are in a quagmire of so many solutions also, we will feel that we will be in a confusion on what to make and how to take as a good which one to take as a good decision. So this is one thing which makes us to be little bit this is one thing which makes us to think for a moment on how to take a good decision. Why can't I make a good decision at times? There are some more points regarding this. Lack of trust in our intuition. Suddenly there will be a spark of idea, as I discussed in the first quotation. But that spark of idea, first of all, we should have the confidence that, yes, the intuition which has flashed in me will be the right one. Let me go with that. There will be a confusion again regarding that. Or a lack of confidence. Is it right what I have decided? This solution is right or not? Am I the right decision maker? Or a fear of making the wrong decision. Is this decision is going to be wrong? Will I be criticized by others? Am I going to face more aftermaths regarding this? Or analysis paralysis. So many solutions, going for so many solutions or going to so many people to get the suggestions, that will also make us to uh, that will also hinder our progress in taking up a good decision. And sometimes when we are in the process of multitasking, for example, especially in our work field, when we are working on some particular project, suddenly another project will come, and the demand of fixing up two projects on the same day, then we will be in a confusion what to do and how to do. And in sometimes emotions also play a great role regarding taking up good decisions. When we take, especially in our personal life or professional life or any good relationships, sometimes we will think that if I take up this decision, will it be affecting others? So emotion plays a great role there. And sometimes the urgency in reaching up in a conclusion. the urgency in reaching up in a conclusion has actually played a great role in my life also. The day when I met with met with an accident, my husband told me just to be there at the metro station itself. I will come and pick you up. Then I was thinking, no, I have to reach home early. Let me start walking. And I also thought that if my husband comes in the torrential rain, if something happens to him, so there my emotions and the urgency in reaching up in a conclusion actually took a toll for me. And I met with the accident. And another Hicks law states that the more choices a person is presented with, the longer the person will take to reach a decision. You can see the two pictures I have given here. Amazon has taken up this law for for their business development. While the shop by department option is clearly visible, Amazon places a focus on the search box, just one option to choose from, and make sure you find what you are looking for. Otherwise, you just imagine the amount of choices that would appear on the home page if Amazon designers did not have in mind the Hicks law. The Hicks law states that more choices a person is presented with, the longer the person will take to reach a decision. And a recent field study found that employees who placed their lunch orders in the morning made meal choices that were 5% less caloric than their co-workers who ordered at the cafeteria and did not plan ahead. So not planning ahead, or if you're taking up a quick decision also, this is the impact. Here, there is a graphical representation also regarding that. So those who have gone for a sudden quick decision, they were ordering for food which are of high calorie comparatively to those who have planned up earlier on what food they are going to order in the cafeteria. That is what the graph proves. How can we improve our decision making? First of all, practicing to make smaller decisions. For example, what to cook for breakfast, or what to wear to office. All such small decision itself, if we practice the process of making up good decisions, that will help us to take up better decisions or greater decisions in life. And avoiding overthinking in every scenario. Sometimes we will have to go for our intuition, okay, whatever, with the self-confidence that, okay, this whatever I'm taking as a good decision here will be the right thing. And changing our language from what if to I can handle if. This also matters a lot in decision making. And not overthinking, analyzing, or stressing over it. Evading the question about what everyone else will think, emotion. This is a role of emotion here. And by naming our fears, like definitely there will be a kind of uncertainty. The decision which I am going to take is right or wrong. But let us name our fears, like what if the worst thing what is the worst thing that can happen? Suppose if I'm fixing upon this particular decision. Okay, if that happens, then what? I can be ready with a plan B, right? And if that too happens, then if that is also something worse, if which is happening which is shown in front of me, which I am visualizing, then if that too happens, let me ready with a plan C also. And anyway, let me start with the first plan A as the decision in my regarding this issue. So if we are planning all this, our life will be like, we can be calm, and we can enjoy the fruits of life, the beautiful journey of life. And Daniel Goleman, in his international book, the best international book, Thinking Fast and Slow, he has given so many ideas about better decision making. So he said that suppose there is a magic wand I get, what would I eliminate if I had a magic wand? He said, first of all, he said that I will avoid overconfidence. I want to avoid that overconfidence if I get a magic wand. That is what he says, that he's of the opinion that overconfidence will make us will delay our decision-making process, or it will also affect our better decision-making process. And and a second thing he says that hindsight bias. Sometimes we have a tendency that last time when I took up that decision, or last time when my friend took up this decision, it happened so let me not go for that. Let us not think of in that way. Sometimes for one particular incident, that decision taken would have acted as wrong, but now for this particular issue, this may work better. We have to think in that way. And anchoring bias, the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information encountered, it can also sway our decision significantly, he says. That means avoiding overthinking. Then loss aversion. When we mitigate the fear of loss, we open ourselves to opportunities and embrace calculations. That means having confidence in ourselves regarding the first decision which is coming into our mind. On the planning fallacy, if we incorporate a healthy dose of skepticism, we enhance our ability to foresee potential pitfalls. Availability heuristic is another point given by Daniel Coleman. Extending our perspective improves the precision of our assessment and promotes a better comprehension of circumstances, he says. Another idea of better decision making is all of you are aware about this 6 thinking hats, this six thinking hats we can apply for taking good decisions also. For example, white stands for facts, white hat. So write down all the information about our problem. Either write it down in a paper, or either write it down in your mind. And red hat stands for emotions. And you can ask, how do you feel about this situation or problem? And how do you feel about making this decision? You can ask yourself through introspection. And black hat stands for the judgment. Right? What could go wrong in this situation, and what are some of the negatives? And yellow hat stands for optimism. What can go right in this solution? Whatever comes in your idea regarding that, what can go right in the situation also you can take down. And green hat stands for growth and creativity. Write down some new opportunities this situation gives, and find out some best 5 options you can take. And the blue hat is the manager or the overseer. Look at all the information from previous hats and weigh the pros and cons of your new insights. And
decision making, yeah, eka shabda
I came through one more suggestion when I browsed over some better decision making ideas. 10-10-10 question. It is given by, this is a book written by Susie Welch, and she's an American author, television commentator, business advisor, and a public speaker. She says that ask yourself, how will you feel about the decision you have taken 10 minutes from now? How about 10 months from now? And how about 10 years from now? If you apply this 10 plus 10 plus 10 question in your mind, you can be a better decision maker in life. So with all this, I would like to say that keeping all these points in mind and following all the insights we have got from our previous presenters and the forthcoming presenters, we can, and the much better suggestions from Manoj, we can be better decision makers in life, and life will be a beautiful journey. Thank you, all of you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Manoj.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I'm just, thank you, Shakrishna. After a long time, I'm listening to you. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and a lot of good points there. Anyone would like to share any learning?
2 points. One is the elimination of overconfidence. I have to work on it.
Yeah.
Then the next point is 10-10-10. That is a very valuable information.
Yeah.
Thank you, Usha madam.
Thank you, Bhaskar.
The parallel thinking, the PMI tool, the 6 thinking hats, these tools can definitely bring down our confidence biases, because we are going to black hat, we are also going to the white hat, we are also seeing the yellow hat, the green hat, right? So when you have this multiple perspective, it definitely leads to wisdom. It eliminates a lot of biases, and it helps you to be an open-minded person. right? 10-10-10 was wonderful because a lot of us, we live for instant gratification. So if you wish to develop consequential thinking, that is, what is the consequences of my action? I think this 10-10-10 is a wonderful tool.
Yeah, I also loved it. I want to buy that book.
Yeah. So how will I feel 10 minutes from now, right? 10 minutes and then 10 months and then 10 years. Especially 10 years is a really good one. It really makes you think a little long term, and suddenly your decision making, do I really, because a lot of stuff which is pleasure driven, instant gratification driven, we'll be able to have some kind of a control just to by looking forward, right? Just thinking about tomorrow, thinking about 10 months from now, 10 years from now. Personally, I like the multitasking because that's the current. There was a time, maybe 20 years back, self-confidence was an issue for me, and now it's multitasking is where you do one task and then you do another task and come back to this task. That's been a challenge. So you can identify your own challenge. Where are you right now? And where is decision making a challenge for you, and figure out a way to move forward. Yeah. Wonderful presentation. Very good insights. Thank you, Usha.
Thank you, Manoj.
Yeah. Over to the next speaker.
Invite Ram Prasad from Chennai.
Thanks, Santosh. Good morning, Manoj. Good morning, everyone. Let me share my presentation. Hope you are able to see my presentation.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Sorry to if it looks like more a corporate presentation, I'm sorry for that, because I'm usually trained for that. I'll try to make it a little easier for everyone. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. Now we are going to look at the decision making and its importance and influence how the bad decision happens and how to mitigate it. Okay, so let's understand what's decision making. So decision making is the process of selecting the course of action from the multiple alternatives. That's the simple part of it. So it's a process of selecting what we want to do next. And we tend to do a lot of decision making on a daily life for our professional, personal, and even societal outcomes, right? So now the decision influences each and every part of your life and each and every minute of your life. Now we want to understand why is this decision making important, and why sometimes we take poor decisions, and then how to improve them. Importance. Decision making will guide the future course of actions. So once we do a decision, our future course of actions are going to be the outcome of the decision. So it becomes very important that what we decide takes us to the right path. So we have to be cognizant of the fact that we are taking right decisions for us to move forward in the right direction. The second is the resource management. The decision making helps us in allocating the resources what we have in our hand on an optimal basis. Whether it is a personal decision or a professional decision, most of our resource determines what the outcome is going to be. Like people say, the effort you put in is going to be the outcome what is going to come in. So your decision is going to influence how much of resource you are going to put in anything. The other point is about the risk mitigation. When you take informed decision, it minimizes your risks and uncertainties. And when you take a decision with the limited risk and uncertainties, it takes you through the success path. Sometimes the decision influences our relationship also. So we have to be cognizant of that, and it's important for that. Okay. The next is the reasons for bad decision making. I segregate the bad decision making process into three separate factors. One is external factor, and another one is the social factors, and another one is the individual or internal factor. When we look at the external factors, the first thing is lack of data. Sometimes we try to gather data, we get insufficient data for us to take the decisions, which leads to the bad decisions. Sometimes the data what we collect may be biased because we collect a wrong information, or the information available itself is so much biased. And then sometimes we get overwhelming quantity of data. This is at certain point in time a huge issue for the industry. Then they started looking at the big data analysis and other things. So that's how they fine-tuned the decision-making process. And then the next is the selective data. This is closer to the bias. When you're doing certain thing, you have an outcome which you expect out of that particular decision-making process, and sometimes you go selective on collecting the data. This will lead to a wrong data selection. That is the selective data collection. And then sometimes it may be that environmental limitations, right? So in specific countries, you don't get the data itself. Sometimes you don't know where to get the data. So these are external factors. Next, the social factors. When we look at the social factors are more relating to the you and other people, how the decision making gets impacted and all that. So cultural values, emotional state, bias, and your peer pressure, fear of change, time constraints, and then value perception impacts your social factors. If you're in a certain culture, you tend to take decision in a certain fashion. If you're in a country where there is no food, then your decision making will be different. And if you're taking the same decision from a country which is very matured, every basic requirements are there, the decision would shift. So that's how the social factors influence the decision making. And one of the key aspects of social factor is the bias and the peer pressure. You tend to take decision depending upon your peer or your other person's expectations. So that may lead to bad decisions. Internal factors are specific relating to the individual. That's the personality of that individual. It depends on the educational level, the kind of skills, specifically the analytical skills this person possesses, and how he is able to connect the dots. That itself, the logical thinking is what I'm here referring to. Connecting the dots is something very difficult for certain people. So when we have this particular skills, it helps us a lot in terms of proper decision making. Sometimes we all go through laziness or ignorance, which also leads to bad decision making. So these are the three areas which I look at from the decision making, three factors. Each and every level, each and every item has something for us to study through and improve. The next is how to improve the decision making. Simple aspect is to mitigate each and every area what we looked at, which I have summarized it like this. One is data. Gather relevant information for the decision making. Don't go overboard or don't go underboard. Optimum level of information what you need to take for a decision making. And then you have to consider your alternative decisions also. And then you need to take your decision making. You need to use multiple decision making frameworks like 10-10-10. You have like a 6 hat, like Usha said. So you have multiple decision making frameworks. Take the use of these decision making frameworks for you to get the right decisions. And then you have to reflect on the past decisions. You might be taking multiple decisions in your life, right? So you have to look at the past decisions and then move on. And then you have to look at the diverse opinions. So if you're not able to take a decision, go to your peer group to help, to take help, and then do the opinions, then thereby you get good expertise for you to take the decision. So conclusion, increase your awareness, improve your decision making skills, apply the frameworks and the process what we learn, and then learn from your experience. And last but not the least, be happy with your decision. Whatever the decision is, whether it is right, wrong, bad, good, be happy with your decision, because you are putting all your efforts and skills, whatever you had at that point in time, like Manoj said. Thank you.
Perfect timing, huh? Yeah. Thank you, Ram Prasad. Very, very well structured presentation. And the classification into 3 different parts, right? External, social, and internal factors. Yeah. Any learning anybody would like to share?
Sir, the best part is be happy with your decision. That's the best. It summarizes everything. Thank you for that. That's a wonderful takeaway for. Thank you.
Yeah, so you especially thank you, Nagapriya, and applying frameworks, applying some kind of a process would be better. Because without a process, without some best practices or without some framework, all this that he mentioned, the biased data, selective data, peer pressure, a lot of these factors can come into play. So if you are very clear, this is the process I take, because if you take research, there is a clear process for that, right? So that the person is not subjective, but very objective. How do you arrive at how do you frame the hypothesis? What is the research methodology? How have you drawn the conclusion, right? So, of course, the research has a very elaborate framework, very elaborate process, but some process so that you are quite objective and you take decisions based on which are aligned to your goals, which are based on your value system, which are rational and logical and not very impulsive decision, right? So he mentioned SWOT. Also reflect on the past decision has come up many times, and thanks Ram Prasad also to bring up. It's some kind of a journal, some kind of a rate yourself on a scale of based on the past 5 decisions that I've taken. Important decision, how would I rate my decision making skills? Some self-reflection, maintaining some kind of a journal. You don't have to be consistent about it. Once in a while, you can just note down, reflect on your decision, learn from your past experience. Learn from past experience means learn from past decision making. What factors influence me to take a decision? What is the personality influencing decision making? These are some of the elements that can definitely improve decision making. Once again, very well structured, Ram Prasad. And nice. I'm very happy to listen to all of you. Some of you I
Thank you.
don't see in the videos only. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ram. And yeah, next speaker, please.
Thank you, Ram Prasad. Next speaker is Mr. Naveen Nandigam Ji from Hyderabad. Naveen sir, over to you.
Yeah, as Naveen comes in, there's another point that Ram mentioned, that is to seek diverse opinion. And even I used to have some kind of hesitation in seeking diverse opinion because sometimes I want to take my own decision, right? So I don't want to ask others. I say, this is my decision. I will take this decision. And that was preventing me from seeking diverse opinions, right? What do you think? What do you think? And you can still be your own decision maker and still seek diverse opinion, right? You can take all the views because it enriches our understanding of whatever on which we have to take a decision. So consulting others, consulting experts, consulting people whom you trust, asking their views, especially if you can ask some experienced people's views and taking into consideration, and finally let the decision be yours. So seek diverse opinion. It's a good strategy before you take an important decision. And Naveen, are you here? And if Naveen
Sir,
is
if Naveen is not there, I can start. I am the next.
Yeah, Rohan can go ahead, Rohan.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Can my slides be seen?
Yes.
Yes. So good morning, everybody. And thank you for Manojji for the opportunity. So basically, when making this presentation, I had to go through multiple decisions. Few of the decisions I had to take was what topics I will cover, what I will leave, and in what I cover, how much time I will spend on each topic. So I decided in the next 7 minutes, I will try to cover. I will touch upon some points of the future, how we will make decision making in the future. I will try to connect some historical concepts or philosophical concepts. I will also touch upon right and wrong decisions. And I will try to talk about the paradoxes affecting decision making and try to summarize it in a single slide. So how will decision making be in the future? So basically, all of us know AI is the buzz. And will AI help us take decisions in the future? So some points to think about. Will AI help in speed and efficiency? Will AI help in giving data-driven insights which human beings miss? which will it help us reduction in our biases? Will it give us multiple scenarios so it can help me in taking decisions? And will it help me in routine decisions? So today I see a lot of routine decisions. We use AI, like when we book an Uber cab, we decide and the best cab comes up. We decide a route, it takes us on the best route. We don't have to take decisions. So I think it will help us, but at the same time, there will be challenges. So there will be biasness in data. There will be lack of contextual understanding. How will an Indian decide? How will an American decide? What will be situations where we will decide in emotions? What will we decide in crisis? Who will we choose? AI will over-rely on patterns, and at times it will misinterpret data. Keeping that in mind, let us see two scenarios in the future how AI will help us to decide. And I leave the thoughts to you all. So for example, an autonomous vehicle, it's going to face an accident. So AI will have to decide, will it have to save the passenger and hit 3 pedestrians on the road, or save the pedestrians on the road and damage to the passenger? Or in an hospital situation, how will AI decide in terms of when there's a pandemic, which patient to allocate ventilators, how many to allocate, which patients would live, which patients would die? So a lot of interesting decisions which AI would take. And now going forward, so how I would link the historical concepts and the philosophical concepts. So when we start, we try to understand where the word decide came. So I understood it came from a Latin word, which basically means to select or cut off multiple options and select the best option. And as human beings, why is it so important for us to take decisions? Because human beings, we are born and we die. And in between is life. And time is continuously moving. So each of our decisions, what we take, are basically connected to the life. And it basically, all the options we choose are life choices and our decisions based on that. And that, big or small, contributes to our trajectory of life. So basically, everyday decisions, like how much time I spend on exercising, how much time I spend on social media, will decide my life in the future. Major decisions, what careers I will choose, who will I get married to, what profession I will take, will decide. Decisions will reflect on my values and my priorities. If I want to stay back and work in a city where my mother is there, my family is there, or I decide, no, I am very ambitious, I want to go abroad, I would like to spend more time on my career. So it will reflect on the values and priorities. And at many times, even not taking a decision like an indecision will also be a decision. And many times decision making shapes our identities. Now, coming to the core of the presentation, right and wrong decisions. So 3 reasons where I feel basically where we can connect right decisions and wrong decisions. One is lack of information. So decisions are often made without adequate knowledge or based on incomplete or outdated or incorrect information. So a solution to that would be to do a lot of research, come up with proper studies, take time and take a decision. But at the same time, the risk would be avoid over-analysis, which causes paralysis and an information overload. Many of the other wrong decisions or right decisions depend on the cognitive biasnesses. So basically, overconfidence, herd mentality, confirmation biases. We believe in certain things and we ignore a lot of other things. So be aware of these biases and seek diverse perspectives. And risk is too much energy could be wasted on taking decisions, and we might miss if the decisions are important and urgent. Emotional influence. Many times fear, stress, excitement can lead to impulsive or irrational decisions. So these could be, we have to take time to reflect. We have to separate the emotions from taking decisions. But many times this must result in us stop trusting our gut feeling. So always there are paradoxes, and it said that the more you know, the more you realize you don't. So I just thought I would share some few paradoxes. One is the paradox of choice. The more options you have, the harder to make a decision. The paradox of commitment. When there is a commitment and you have invested time, money, and resources, it's harder to walk away. The paradox of risk. People tend to avoid risk in certain contexts, but seek them out in other contexts. And the paradox of expertise. People who are less knowledgeable tend to overestimate their ability, and people who are more experienced doubt their own judgment. So I would leave you to think about these paradoxes when you make decisions. And finally, I will summarize in one slide. In any moment of decision, the best decision you can do is the right thing. The next best is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is doing nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rohan.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
I think he brought up future of decision making, and he has gone all the way to 2050. That is about 26 years from now. Yeah. So, I mean, AI tools are fantastic, and one can use it, and I myself using a little bit of it. But technology amplifies your thoughts, your personality. And even a scamster is using technology to scam more people. So technology amplifies us, and a lot of people's confirmation bias or confidence bias gets amplified by technology, because all this media, they show you the kind of news that you want to see. Like Donald Trump supporters are shown positive news about Donald Trump, and Kamala Harris supporters were shown positive news about Kamala Harris. So it amplifies your biases. And because technology also it's like the Mask movie, whatever is your personality, it gets amplified. So fundamentally, one needs to have discipline. And if you use AI for amplifying your biases, I'll just mute. If you use AI for amplifying your biases, it will make you a much worse decision maker. And if you are self-disciplined, you will use technology for the betterment of yourself and for the betterment of humanity. So ultimately, it depends on who you are as a person, because technology can go this way or this way. Like a knife can be used for good things or bad things. It's up to the person who is holding the knife. And so, but that's I would say, on one side, we work on ourselves so that as we become better and better human beings, we use technology in a better way. And the second is to learn this technology so that we can learn and adapt and use the technology to the best of our use as well as society's use. Yeah, that's a good topic. Anybody would like to share any learnings? There are so many points Rohan has brought up.
Sir, I would like to share. I like the paradox of choice, risk, commitment. So that gave an insight. So it was a multiple perspective on a big picture. So I really like this.
Yeah.
Sir, I
feel
like
the
one thing.
paradoxes. Sorry. Yeah, I always feel the paradoxes are, something which in life we have to live through. Like when we were young, we had a lot of time, but no money. Today we have a lot of money as we are professionals, but we have no time to spend it on ourselves. So life is all those paradoxes, and every time we have to take a decision, those paradoxes are always conflicting.
Yeah,
may I-
the good
Sorry.
decision making shapes your personality. That I think is very strong, because when you make a good decision, your confidence boosts and also self-esteem. And the second quotes what he said, that the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. That is a very good one.
Yeah.
In 7 minutes, a lot of comprehensive coverage. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, as you become more and more of an expert, you realize that more and more you don't know. In fact, little knowledge is a dangerous thing, they say. right? And so if you ask someone who is a physicist and who is a PhD, how much you know about physics, etc., I would say we know so little, right? But so you ask someone who is doing a bachelor's degree and he will say, you know everything. Yeah, so these are paradoxes, and the more we are committed, the more difficult it is to walk away. And the key is to find the balance. Key is to get that balance right. Like just in cooking, we have to get the salt and spice and everything just in the right balance. And so that's the way forward. And thank you, Rohan. I will. Can we give a big hand and thank you? And let's move on to the next speaker.
Naveen, sir, you can take over.
Yeah, can you see my slides?
Yes.
Manoj, the timer, please. You need to change.
Okay. First of all, thanks to Manoj, really. In one topic, we're getting so much of information, so many diverse ideas is excellent. And so many people think on one topic for so long. I think we can do multiple training workshops based on this info. So thank you, Manoj. Thank you, all the colleagues of NLP, Next TTT for all this. So let's come to decision making. Now, every day, I think a month ago, I was listening to one video from, an influencer, and he was, I think, very obese. And now he's lost a lot of weight. And one other thing I gathered from his interview, how did he lose weight? He said is, what is important is every hour you have to take an important decision about what to eat, what not to eat, etc. So that actually stuck with me. Every hour and more frequently, every minute, we'll have to take a lot of decisions, especially for the bigger things in our life. So that's why they say every change starts with a decision. When you say every change starts with a decision, Gandhiji took one decision about freedom for our mankind. MS Dhoni took one decision about, okay, I want to play for the country, and he quit his railway job. So that one decision can actually alter our life. And if you look at Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, MS Dhoni, you or me, one decision, we can actually change our life. So instead of going in a direction which we probably didn't analyze much to another direction, we can actually alter our entire life. But remember, there are no guarantees or crystal balls for the future. There's no absolute way to know if you are or not making the right decision. Give tomorrow the best possible chance. Give tomorrow the best possible chance you can. And look at every area of your life and ask yourself these questions. Am I on course? Am I, like Manoj sir always keeps saying, am I growing mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Now, anything that is blocking that mental, emotional, spiritual growth, anything that is preventing you from living your greatest possible life. Manoj sir, every program he talks about live your best life and so on. Make the tough decision to let it go. Whatever is blocking you, make the tough decision to let it go actually. So that is so very important for us in our life.
Naveen, are you speaking? I can't hear you.
Yeah. Got stuck with this.
Is it with everyone? No one can hear him?
No, I'm not speaking. Just a minute.
Okay.
There is actually the slide which says there are no guarantees of crystal.
Yeah. So why do we make bad decisions? And all our colleagues have given various viewpoints. Every viewpoint is so valid in today's life. So from my experience, I've identified three viewpoints. The first one is when we actually go on an ego trip. Now, when we go on an ego trip emotionally, somebody says something to us, and instead of looking at our purpose, our goal, our vision, we actually get carried away. Or somebody does not validate us, again, we go on an ego trip. Or somebody buys something better than us, we go on an ego trip. And look at Israel-Palestine war or Russia-Ukraine war or many of the issues which happened in India, Pakistan. Many of these, if you trace it back, the root cause will be some ego trip is happening somewhere. Even in Mahabharata, Duryodhana went on an ego trip because Draupadi actually made fun of him. And then we had the Mahabharata war and so many negative things have happened. So be careful because I love one quotation which says in the war of ego, the winner is always the loser and the loser is always the winner. And that quote transformed my way of thinking. The second reason I feel is when we're tempted to take the path of least resistance when taking decisions. Instead of doing some analysis, at least for the critical things or where stakes are high, we just tend to actually be lazy decision makers to take some quick decisions. Okay, if you want to go to a restaurant, it is okay. If you want to actually go to a movie, it's okay. If you don't do over analysis, that's fine. But when it comes to spouse, when it comes to career, when it comes to buying a house, etc., if you take the path of least resistance, we miss many things. I remember 10 years ago, we had a plot of land in Vijayawada, and then my uncle is there. So we just relied upon him and depended upon him, and he said it is about 9,000, 10,000 rupees, and I didn't do much due diligence. I just went ahead, and eventually, what happened? He cheated us, and I lost about 10 to 15 lakhs. 10 years ago, 10 to 15 lakhs I have lost because I was lazy in my thinking. So many times we become so lazy in our thinking, we miss the actual bus. And yesterday, Rajkumar ji covered this so beautifully. When we succumb to the FOMO virus, long back, I read one newspaper article which says in an engineering college, somebody wrote this. When I joined engineering, I'm not an engineer. This is from the article I'm talking about. In a class of 30 classmates, 5 were actually smokers. Then he went on to say, when I finished my engineering, 25 became smokers. And you can see how FOMO virus attacks us. And we are not aware of which direction we're actually going. Now, people say, when will you enjoy life? Do it now, and so on and so forth. Even in the West, I was in the US a couple of months ago for 2.5 months. There are so many wonderful things to learn from there. But we pick up how to wear those torn jeans or how to drugs and all that stuff. But they're very punctual. They're very professional in their approach. They're very innovative in their thinking. Instead of taking those things, we get carried away with the FOMO virus. So let's talk about how to make good decisions in our life. How do we make better decisions in our life? Now, first thing, I always feel we must be purpose-centric but not ego-driven. If you just take an analogy of a lion and a dog, if you throw a ball at a dog, if you do this direction, it'll go this way, that direction will go this way. So it is always moving around, forgetting its own purpose. But if you do it in front of a lion, you throw a ball, it says, shut up, man, my purpose is different. Go ahead. You whatever you do, I'm not going to get shaken away. Similarly, in our life, if we are we're clear about our purpose, because as they say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything and everything in life. So we must be clear what we stand for. This is the first thing before we take decisions. Secondly, as I was saying, we do some lazy thinking, but with presence, with many of our colleagues have covered, you must have awareness, apply consequential thinking. If I do this, what will happen? And just now, Ushaji was beautiful talking about 10 minutes and 10 months and 10 years and so on. If we apply consequential thinking, what are the consequences of this decision? If I take up this job versus that company job, this person marry or that person marry, or if I take up this diet versus that food and so on. If you apply consequential thinking, and we can probably get most of our decisions right in our life. Because if you ask what if this side, what if that side, that will actually help us to make better decision makers. And sometimes you'll have to take expert advice. Sometimes you'll have to take expert advice, but be alert because all experts are not right all the time. Recently, my mother had a tooth extraction and she had a stent, heart stent some time back. And doctor said you'll have to stop the blood thinner medicine. And when we asked the cardiologist, he said, you stop this one. There were 2 blood thinners. Then another doctor I consulted, he was through the list and he said, no, did you stop this also or not? So do your due diligence because I told you about the plot in Vijayawada. My brother-in-law actually kept on telling me, I think the price is much more than what you're getting. I just, like Manoj sir was saying, I thought I was always right, but I messed up a beautiful deal in our life. Eventually, truly successful decision making relies on a balance between deliberate and instinctive thinking. Sometimes instinct, sometimes deliberate, sometimes a combination of both. And we have to be really aware to decide to take decisions whether to use deliberate and instinctive thinking. Now, we paralyze ourselves when we worry about making the right choices. But pick a path, give it your all after you pick a path. Learn, grow, and don't forget to reassess. Make a change if it feels right. And know that no matter what happens, you can still enjoy your life and be happy. Like I think Rohanji was just saying. And I would conclude with this beautiful thing. Before you decide, look at your time horizon. Look at your time horizon before you decide. Now, imagine if somebody is a factory worker. Now, they will think in terms of day to day, today, that's it. But if somebody is a supervisor, they will think in terms of week to week, 1 week, how much will I get, and so on. If you're in the lower management of an organization, you will think in terms of only month to month. What salary will I get in a month? Middle management, they will think year to year. What happens this year, next year, what promotion will I get, and so on. If you're in the higher level management, you'll think of decade to decade. If you're a CEO, you'll think in terms of generation to generation. But if you're a visionary like Ratan Tata, you'll think in terms of century to century. If you look at most decisions Ratan Tata has taken, he always visualized the future of the Tata Group century to century. If you look at Mahatma Gandhi, century to century, and so on and so forth. If you look at Abraham Lincoln, when I was in US, I went to his museum also. I was so fascinated by how he used to think in those days under those circumstances. So have your vision in life and take decisions based on that vision. So let that be the guiding light for your life. Thank you, Manoj, Santosh, and all NLP, TTT colleagues. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Naveen. That was an awesome presentation, and the ending was so amazing, right? Think in terms of century. Yeah, not just decade. Yeah, that's real long term. Yeah. So I'm like when I'm reading about so many people, so many autobiographies, now I'm connecting. Right?
Yeah, the policy makers, that's how they used to think.
Think in terms of generations. Yeah. That's a wonderful. Yeah. Anybody would like to share anything?
Oh, 2 things. I mean, one is the consequential thinking. It's a new thing I have learned. And then the last slide, how to think generation to generation. That is, last slide is very good.
So both Usha and Naveen has drilled us a thing. Of course, Naveen has gone to generations, which is really visionary way of thinking. And think 10 seconds, 10 minutes from now, 10 months from now, 10 years from now. Consequential thinking is I'm taking a decision, what is the consequences in the future, right? And thanks, Naveen, for sharing your personal experience, selling a land or buying a land or taking some major career decisions, right? We need to do due diligence, right? It would be nice to actually write down a methodology because you'll see lots of lakhs and crores of rupees are involved in, say, buying or selling a land, right? So it's nice to write down a decision-making process rather than just, oh, I know him, I trust him, and just go about and be lazy about doing a proper due diligence. So how to arrive at certain decisions in such important matters, and how I collected the right data, how I in the case of land, even arriving at the price, there has to be a proper mechanism, an objective mechanism to arrive at the price, and not just one person says this and then you say, okay, this is the price. All right. So even within the family, I have counseled people who have carry a tremendous amount of sadness or anger because a family member cheated. Right. So we need to do our due diligence. So I think one of the American presidents said, trust but verify. You need to have a observer position in such decision, NLP observer position, because as a person, yes, I'll go along with this decision, but observer position is take a third person and take a methodology which is very objective. And you can teach that methodology. You want to buy land, follow this decision-making process. Right? You can teach to someone else how to buy or sell a land. And I'm just giving an example of land because Naveen so beautifully brought out such an important topic. But for any decision, right, any important decision, we need to have an objective decision-making process. And that can save so much of money, so much of peace of mind that gets lost by taking a bad decision. Right? It is so vital that certain decisions, we are not lazy. That's the word that Naveen used, right? Lazy. Lazy to do due diligence. Taking
Really,
part
I
of-
lost that because I was lazy.
Yeah. Taking the
And
part of- yeah.
And this generation to generation slide, actually just now I added that slide. It was not there till yesterday, but when I was looking at all the presentations, I said, wow, awesome. Then I got this thought, and then I added it just now. My son added it just now. We finalized it. I thought it will be a good conclusion.
Yeah.
Navinji, one point.
Yeah.
15 years back, you sold the land, but I hope you invested that money in the stock market.
No, I invested in my villa in Hyderabad. This is the house I'm staying. I'm really enjoying the house, but 15 lakhs now. Whenever I think of that, I blame myself. I blame my uncle.
But I guess when you look back, you might also feel that maybe it happened and it's right also. You are in a better house and
that anyway, I would have purchased it. But see, it's a lesson we have to learn, and that is, if you see root cause analysis, not my uncle's fault, it is my fault.
Correct.
Because I allowed him to actually mislead me.
Yeah.
So actually, I should take the responsibility. Like Manoj beautifully said, self-awareness should not lead to self-criticism. This is what he said in one of the sessions in this batch. So I wrote that down because I tend to go into self-criticism because I made this mistake and so on. But it's a downward spiral.
Yes.
And the other thing I just want to talk about expert advice, because one of the CEO, his father was in hospital and expert was dealing with that, and he analyzed it and he could see that the expert was giving wrong treatment.
Yeah.
And he went to the CEO of the hospital, told him, no, you changed the doctor. They got him changed and he saved his father. So we tend to think, okay, experts know it all. They have their own blind spots. They have their own weaknesses. So we have to be ultra alert for many of these things.
Yeah.
What I understand
Excellent
from
life lessons. Excellent life lessons. And so these are powerful learnings to ensure that we don't just blindly go and just follow someone. You do your due diligence and not take the path of least resistance. And sometimes even ego, as he beautifully brought out, even ego can stop us from taking the right decisions. And so these are wonderful points from a presentation perspective. What you said are the reasons for bad decisions. You connected it with the way to improve this. That there was a connection between this one and that one. That was really nice. So very useful. Very useful.
Yeah.
Reminds us the importance of decision making. Thank you, Naveen.
And thank you for this platform. So many ideas I'm getting through everybody's presentations. I'm loving it. Thank you so much. And thank you all my colleagues. Yeah.
What I appreciate about Naveen is that he's owning up the mistake that he made and not blaming his uncle alone. And now he's in a position to correct in the future any such mistake. That is what is very important about it.
Absolutely. And it's a lesson for my children, for next generation.
Yeah.
Really. Very true.
Thank you. And over to the next speaker.
Yes. Dr. Prasanna, I'm presenting the slide. Huh.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Manoj sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to state Naveen sir's last one, have a vision in your life. So that's with that, I'm starting my presentation. Today's topic of presentation is decision making. Decision making is a choice that we make. Next slide. Next slide, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Decision making is a choice that we choose to make to move towards an outcome. The act of every choice we make, big or small, lies in the thought process behind every decision. Some decisions are in our control, some are out of our awareness. Why decision making is important? Decision making is an integral part of our life. Decision making is very intricate, influencing our lives from simple choices that we make in our daily routines to significant life-transforming decisions. Thoughtful decision making saves a lot of time, energy, lives, health, relationship, and business deals. According to me, next slide. According to me, what are the top 3 reasons for bad decision making? The first one is fear of loss. It is the fear of losing somebody that I value the most. I would like to share an incident in my life. Like I consulted an astrologer in 2019. He said there is a life-threatening situation for my daughter in 2022, and a puja has to be done to nullify it. The cost of the puja he quoted was 10 lakhs, and he said that this puja is the only asset that is going to save my daughter's life, and all your assets for your daughter are useless. I, for the first time, without my husband's consent, took a loan and gave the money to the astrologer. That's the setting scene for my download spiral in my life. The second reason is environmental control. People around me, like after I got married, my in-laws always tell me what I'm supposed to do or not to do, and eventually, slowly, I lost my autonomy and speech, and stopped doing the things which I normally like to do. And I really felt very small, and for the very reason that I was not being heard. As a result of that, what happened was I lost my proactive thinking. So that's the third decision that's the third reason for me to make bad decisions. Next slide, ma'am. And actually, what happened next is that the consequences are that costs a lot, and I was totally emotionally hijacked by negative emotions like argument, anger, frustration, eventually depression, and there was a complete cognitive shutdown leading to authentically take irrational decisions because of self-denial, leading to self-sabotage and sabotage of others. And because of the wrong decision that I took initially for taking a loan and giving 10 lakhs, I didn't know how to come out of that, and I had to be in that circle I have to pay the EMI. So it led to one loan after the other loan to keep the EMI get going, because my husband didn't support me, and then eventually it landed up in a debt of 1 crore. Next slide, ma'am. So in this process, what exactly happened is somehow my intuition, I trust my intuition, and I had a good learnings from all the things that I have done. So what the first learning that I did right from my childhood was that is the review and reflection of my life experiences. So I would like to quote here my childhood incident. When I was 7 years old, I remember that I went through a childhood trauma, because of which I decided I wanted to become a doctor. believing at that age that I would become all right if I become a doctor. The second decision that I took when I was in 9th standard, it was like when I was 14 years old, and that I would when I hear all the pure talk and people friends getting distracted, I thought if I were to become a doctor, then I should avoid all these distractions and focus on the work, so that I have very little, so that I don't have any friends. In that way, I can avoid this distraction, and then I can do my studies. I did become a doctor. I became a dentist. I finished my BDS and MDS in a row, and I got married to the person whom my father chose. And I thought I'm settled happily, and my parents are also happy. So then next came the shock of my life. What was that? Was that my husband set up a clinic for me. I was working. And I could understand that my clinic knowledge was a little less, so I need to upgrade. And I started going for the courses, and also I found that I was not, when I was treating my patients, I found that I was not fully present with the patients. Like when the patients say that I had tooth pain since evening, I'm unable to sleep. I was awake all night due to the pain. Please do something about it. I will. And what I will do is I will immediately examine them, give medication, and follow and give the follow-up instructions what next they have to do. But that's when I realized I was totally emotionally disconnected. I was not able to be with the patient in the same page, like when they're saying they're having pain. I was not able to empathize with them and what they were going through. So that was my first self-awareness. That actually helped me to pause and understand myself better. That's my first self-awareness that eventually led to learning. So I started to analyze myself. I took some NLP training. I became aware of what exactly was happening, what the past trauma had done for me, and how I was stopping my own progress. Then I took a couple of courses from Manoj sir, motivational interview, doing subconscious habit mastery. And this actually led to me to get deeper into myself and to reflect upon my decisions and helping me to evolve as a better person. Third thing, I understood that I need a mentor. So now that I actually know about myself and where I am right now, I thought an expertise will help me guide to reach my goals. A mentor is a person who bridges the gaps in the learning and our life experiences and helps us to carve a better, predictable future for us. Next slide, ma'am. I feel that being true to our own self is important to create this space for us to grow in all areas in our life. Thank you very much for your patient listening.
Thank you. That came from the heart. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. You opened up your heart, and it's very, very inspiring. Your life is an inspiration, and it's a journey of self-discovery, right? You have gone through what you have gone through, but the self-awareness, working on yourself. My personal conviction is that if you get yourself right, everything gets all right. Right? Everything gets all right if we become all right. So it's a matter of self-discovery. It's a matter of being true to our own self. That's her words, Prasanna, Dr. Prasanna's words, being true to our own self. So it's a great inspiration, Prasanna, and a wonderful inspiration. And even AI, if you want to use, you have to get yourself right. Because technology, you can wear all the smartwatches, health application, but ultimately it's the self. Because technology on its own, it won't work, right? You have to work the technology. So you can have all the technology in the world, But if you are not self-disciplined, you will use, majority of the people use technology for unproductive, for addiction. Drug usage has increased on this planet. Stress has gone up in this planet, right? So ultimately, you got to get yourself right. And so thank you. I'm really deeply touched by your experiences and the progress that you're making. It's very inspiring. Yeah,
Actually, all these courses has helped me to reconnect with myself.
yeah, wonderful. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Santosh, next week.
Thank you, Dr. Prasanna. And our next speaker is Ramasamy sir from Chennai. Manoj, the timer.
You're on mute, Samson.
I'll start the timer again. Ramasamy, you're mute, Ramasamy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, and you can share.
Okay. Is it audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Santosh. Good morning to all. Today the topic is the decision making. The introduction. Right decision making is the key to our success. First, identify what is important to me or for my organization. Based on that, we need to do decision making. It needs to be ethical. That is basically very important. Why decision making is important? Decision making helps to get focus on goals to achieve my or organization desired goals. By achieving the desired goals, we can get our reward. Example, by regularly doing yoga, good health we can get. If decision making is based on body-mind cooperation is very basically required for any decision making, then only we can work congruently and we can come out of our comfort zone and achieve the goals. Reasons for bad decision making. Without body-mind cooperation, if we take any decisions, then it leads to incongruence and make the task a difficult one to achieve. Not clear in what is important for me or my organization leads to bad decision making. Over underestimation also leads to bad decision making. Not ready to share the victory with the others by doing teamwork, and biased attitude also leads to bad decisions. Ways to improve decision making. Self-awareness and open-mindedness helps us to take right decisions. Take decision making based on multiple perspective, first, second, third position. We need the cooperation of all the persons so we can work congruently and achieve our goals with others' cooperation. Prayers, meditation, forgiveness, and gratitude helps us to take a right decision. See the more options and select the best decision and work on it with 100% participation. Using stimulus response to achieve my goals. In my case, I am having some severe leg pain. It is difficult for me to walk regularly, but doctor suggested some operation all 10 years back. But I am doing regularly yoga. Daily, I spend 45 minutes for yoga, 15 minutes for meditation. I am doing 99% of days plus days. I am doing it regularly. So only I am able to manage my daily life. Without pain, I am able to move around and drive and all those things. If I stops to do yoga for at least 3 days, then severe pain will come. So reward and punishment. If I do yoga, I'll be better and I can walk, I can lead a normal life. If I fails to do yoga, definitely it will lead to a lot of severe leg pain and other things. So that is the reward and punishment attitude. So we need to use the stimulus response in our favor. My beliefs needs to align with my actions. That is basically very important. Conclusion. Action steps. Burn the boat. Even one country, the king along with the soldiers sailed the sea, and for a war he go to the another island. And they reached that island. After reaching that island, the king burnt the boat. So the soldiers can give their 100%, and chances of winning the war is very, very high. If they fail to win the war, rest of their lives as slaves, they have to live in that island only. If they won the war, they can take that boat from that island and they can reach their native places to their own country. So to get their 100% output, the king just burnt that boat. So there is no options for any soldiers to escape, to run away with the help of that boat from that island. So everybody gave their 100% and fought well and won that war, and they enjoyed the victory and they safely returned to their own country. Like that, we can apply in our life also. For example, so a small thing, if you want to maintain good health, avoid junk food and all, in our house, we can remove all those junk food from fridge and in our other storeroom, other areas. If we and we can keep whatever we want to take, which is good for our health, fruits or some other thing, we can keep it in fridge and other places. So if we are hungry, we can take, not the junk food. So our health will be, we can lead a healthy life. So we can apply this like this, we can apply in our life also. Have systems to implement decisions. Recipe is very important. After taking decision making, we need to have a recipe. First, what I am going to do, next, what is the milestone, how I to achieve the final stage. So we need to follow the recipe step by step before starting relaxation, sufficient sleep, then doing starting like that. We need to have a system, particular recipe we need to follow that to implement that one. Review our decisions and the actions and find the evidence. If required for betterment, to do update and be flexible in our decisions. This year, I choose to be a better person in all aspects of my life compared to last year. Thank you. Thanks to all.
Yeah. So see, I know Ramasamy for a lot of years and I've seen him in physical classes. And I'm so happy to see his presentation has improved, his voice modulation, his emphasis, his flow has clear. I mean, there's a clear difference the way he used to speak much earlier. So Ramasamy, your presentation, I'm really glad to see progress, right?
Thanks, sir.
And that emphasis also coming from like a conviction. So wonderful, wonderful to see your presentation has improved. And body-mind connection, yoga. I'm happy to see that you're practicing yoga and meditation. That itself can improve decision making.
Thank you, sir.
Right? If you don't want to follow any major tools and process, just you can practice meditation because it slows down, it improves body-mind connection, especially yoga. It improves body-mind connection and it improves your ability to think clearly. So yoga and meditation is an excellent tool to make better decisions, right? So that impulsiveness, emotional influences can be greatly be managed if you can be a regular practitioner of yoga and meditation. Yeah, after
One more
taking,
thing, I am your student for more than 20 years, sir.
yeah. Wonderful.
20 years back, I joined 1 year course. After that, also here and there, I joined.
Some birth
After,
connections are there. Yeah,
Thank you, sir, for
thank you, sir.
promoting yoga.
yeah. Yeah, Sarita.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks to all.
yeah. Even in between, you want to take a break, like if you're sitting on a table, a few minutes of yoga can also bring a lot of. Most people are today misusing technology and getting into addiction of browsing. But yoga can be a much better alternative and a healthy alternative to unnecessary browsing.
Yeah,
Right?
that is why we have corporate yoga, sir, and that works wonderful.
Yeah. So nice, nice presentation, Ramasamy. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful presentation. And over to Sharmili Chadda from Hyderabad.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Sorry, good morning. So used to of saying good evening. I'll share my slide. And the example of mind-body connection just happened because my heart started to pound. It's my turn to present now, and it's all going on what's going to happen. I just wanted to share that. Is it visible, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. So once again, good morning, everyone. We've been talking about this decision making and it's important. How is it? How we can improve? What wrong decision making does to us? But yes, we all have dreams, and so many of us are able to live by our dreams, and so many of us are not able to. What is the difference? What can be the major difference? It is just simple action, the massive, consistent action that makes all the difference. Rather, action and decision are synonyms to each other. Each action we take, whether it's conscious or unconscious, is mothered or fathered by a decision behind it. So if we see towards success, that is a result of our good decisions. If we get success, something we did right in deciding. Where does good decisions come from? Obviously, our experiences. And then where do the experiences come from? Again, from decisions. But ironically, experiences, more the ones we remember, are the results of more of our bad decisions. So decisions not necessarily need to be always right. They just need to be powerful. And decision making, we all know by now, we've been talking about, it makes an integral part of our life. Smaller decisions, waking up on time, can shape the day. Larger decisions like career choices and relationship choices will define our futures. So the power of decision is the power of change. While we cannot control life's events, we can always control how we decide to respond to them. Now, why decision making is important? Why it is important? Decisions define our destiny. All 3 days we've been talking about this. All my course mates have laid a lot of emphasis on it. It does define our destiny, and how that also we came to know through so many perspectives. Similarly, how I live today is the result of who and how I decide to spend my time with, what I decide to learn and not to learn, what I decide to believe in, my decision to give up or my decision to persist, my decision on getting married, having children or not, my decision about what to eat, my decision on smoking or drinking, my decision about who I am and what I am capable of. All these literally control and direct my life. So while I'm talking about the word decision, I mean a real conscious choice. Here's a story for you all. A young, very highly enthusiastic girl, full of dreams and aspirations, very much sure that she's going to leave a mark onto the world, out of the expectations of her parents and the relatives, those days, joint family, took up science because everybody wanted their eldest daughter to be the doctor, the first doctor into the family. Nobody, and neither did she, realize what actually the interest of that girl's lied into. As a result, she could not do very good in academics. Very difficulty, she graduated and eventually got married. Time went by, and in spite of a life that many, many would envy, it took 3 decades. Yes, it took 3 decades for me to realize that it's my choice that has gone wrong. One decision in my life, and it took away my dream of leaving that mark onto the world. And that caused all the frustrations, I'm sorry, in my life. And yes, now the realization, though, has led me to take another decision, this realization, and I started to rebuild on that dream, to follow that dream of mine at the age of 50. So ultimately, it's our decisions and not the conditions that make our lives or that determine our destiny. Reasons why we make poor decisions. In last presentation of mine, I took up that it's the ignorance that leads to ignorance. Can be because of lack of knowledge, lack of acceptance, overconfidence, just being unaware about the understanding of the situation, about the people and the facts into the context we pick up, and overlooking the minute details and just assuming and taking things for granted. Then there were biases I spoke about, the personal, cultural, religious, relationship, all kinds of biases. They just cloud our objective judgment. They do, yes. Fear of change was what I also spoke about in my last presentation. Just because we are discomfort, that discomfort is going to create to step out of our comfort zone. Choosing the same familiar path is very, okay with everyone rather than exploring better opportunities. Most of the time, people like to live in a known hell rather than entering and exploring an unknown heaven. Many business owners, they hesitate to adopt new technologies, just fearing the cost and the complexities. And the ones who do, they save on time, they improve on their productivity, and they're ahead of their competitors. And then there are some external factors as well, which are just out of our control. Uncertainty, for example, COVID literally just destroyed the result of the 5-year plans of all those people whose 5th year happened to fall in 2020. And the two big ones more for me, which I realized, while I was listening to everybody, came up for me, was that fear of failing and fear of being judged. If I fail, what would people say? Sabse bada rog, kya kahenge log? So yes, I do believe in that this is what it can be the reasons of poor decision making. Impact, of course, it leads to cascading effects, missed opportunities, strained relationships, personal dissatisfaction, regret, guilt, like the story I spoke about. That's my story, how it led to fear, ignorance. They just clouded everything for me. In 1912, the crew of the Titanic faced a critical decision to slow down while they were getting regular warnings of iceberg. But just that overconfidence in that unsinkable ship, they ignored the warnings, and the result we all know. So yes, fear, ignorance, and bias can blind us to better possibilities. How can we improve our decision making? While I say this sentence, how can we improvise our decision making? This itself requires a lot of conscious choice. Do I want to actually? Do I want to improve? So yes, if we talk about how can we improve, it is by developing awareness, regularly researching, reflecting. We've been talking about, all of us have been talking about being analytical about the situation, context, talking to people, taking different perspectives, the self, the other, and the observer. Everybody's spoken. So yes, it was already there in my slide. So what name I have given to it, it's a powerful perspective generating technique. And by challenging biases, of course, and preconceived notions, embracing discomfort, that is what I just spoke about, that kya kahenge log, we don't want to come out of our known hells. Rather than we better stay in our unknown to go for the unknown heaven. Just don't want to take step up, step out. Commit to growth again would be possible only when we align our decisions with our values and some long-term goals as well. And when we make deliberate choices, so that if we are wanting to create a meaningful life for ourselves, what is in it for me can lead to, something committing to growth. This can be one of the reasons. For example, Steve Jobs faced the critical decision to return to Apple in 1997 when the company was failing. Despite of all the doubts and risks, he embraced the challenge and transformed Apple in one of the most successful companies in the world. So again, all this, what I've just spoken about, will be possible when I'm aware that do I really want to change and grow? Otherwise, what I talk about or what Manoj sir talks about or what our all colleagues have spoken is all philosophy. So awareness for me is the factor. So see, it's something like, either you make a right decision or you work to make the decisions right. So when you've done a decision, when you've really taken a decision, you draw a line, and that line is not to be drawn on the sand, but on the cement. So life is like a puzzle, and every choice that contributes, every choice we make is going to contribute to make a larger picture. And each decision what we take brings clarity and beauty to that our life painting. So every choice, I would say, is like a brushstroke. Make it purposeful to create a masterpiece. And yet, before I conclude, I want to add this too. Nothing is more difficult and more precious to be able to decide. Thank you so much for being so patient with me. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Santosh.
Yeah. Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. And beginning was very powerful. I think the quote was the power of decision is the power of change. And the ending was so powerful.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. The last two slides was very, very impactful. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Fear of change. It is better to stay in the known hell than to explore. So the familiarity, preferring something which is familiar. And if that is the case, one needs to really challenge oneself. Ignorance, overconfidence, lack of acceptance. Yeah, so a lot of wonderful insights. Thank you, Sharmi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
And
sir.
I think I feel a sense of motivation now. Naveen built it up and Ramasamy built it up and Sharmi is building it up further. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank-
Yes. So that's all come out of my life experiences, what I have gone through. So that's just I presented. Yes. This is my life.
Yes.
Thank you,
That
sir.
masterpiece thing was very good.
Yeah. Yes, Naveen.
Masterpiece was very good, Sharmili.
Thank you.
Masterpiece.
Thank you.
Really, that is really inspiring.
One more thing, making your decision right, working towards it, that was a good, because once you take a decision, you have to work to make it right, not take a right decision because you don't know whether you are taken right or wrong, but work it towards making it right was really good. Thank you, Sharmila.
Thank you so much, Sharmi. Quite inspiring. And our next presenter is Arun. And I'm sharing this slide.
After Arun, we have one speaker, right?
We have one speaker, Bhaskaran sir.
Yeah. So we are ending with Bhaskaran.
Bhaskaran sir, yes.
Thank you, Santosh. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, the decision making, the word decision comes from a Latin word that means decido. You can click on the slide. That means directing your attention to the consequences of a choice to our value, feeling, mission, and society. The same quote Rohan also mentioned in his slide. So, in any moment of decision, the best thing is you can do right decision, and the next best thing is wrong decision, and the worst part is not taking a decision at all. You can click on it, Sandesh. Next slide. few more quotes about decision making. Yeah, you can start interaction. Okay, the reason for, according to me, the reason for bad decisions are there are three things. One is having the limited information. Sharbali ma'am also told that lack of information. So when we have only limited information, we tend to make a bad mistake. So I like to give one example from my life. So a couple of years back, one of my friend told that he has a good chit fund investment option. So he told that basically we have to invest 3,000 rupees in a month. Next month onwards, they will be giving 1,000 rupees. I didn't believe at all. So, but my friend was keep on pushing, and then I went there and then see, and the founder of the chit fund, he showed the ID card that he's from army background, and then he explained all those things. With half-hearted, I invested 3,000 rupees without hope, and then I got 1,000 rupees the next subsequent months. I was very much interested, and then I took a loan and then invested a big amount. I invested 4 lakhs rupees. On the next month, they gave a amount. After that, they told that they are transferring all this information to a system. It will take some time. That's the same reason they keep on telling. After that, COVID had happened, and then we couldn't reach that person at all. This is one of the bad decisions they ever made. The reason for this, I didn't validate complete information about this. That's why I made this bad decision. And next one is self-centric. And Manoj also told that we should have a diverse opinion, and then NLP technique, the purposeful question, also saying about taking multiple opinion. So recently, I went to tour with my wife to Kashmir. I enjoyed the weather, but it was too much cold. My wife couldn't enjoy it. So she told that if it is a Ooty or Kodaikanal, which has medium cold, she could have enjoyed. She told. So if I ever considered all this diverse, if I ever taken diverse opinion, I would not have this kind of mistake. The third one is scattered mind. Ramasamy sir told about yoga and meditation. So it impacts our decision making. Next slide, Ramesh. So this is the process of decision making. It starts with identifying and define the problem. A problem well defined is solving almost 50% can be solved, and then collect as much as data possible, list all possible solution and weigh possibilities, and get expert help. So in my case, so if I have taken expert help, for example, if I have taken the financial advisor help on my decision, I could have avoided that mistake. And the next one is decide on a solution and execute, and monitor and rework. So not all the decision can go right. In case if it is seems to be going wrong, we can rework on it, and then we can make it right. Next slide, Sandesh. So there are a few internal factors which affects decision making. One is ego depletion. So our decision making happens in the prefrontal cortex. The same prefrontal cortex power, we are using it for willpower and all. So we are if we tend to use more willpower, and then the ego depletion happens, and after that we tend to make a bad decision. Next slide, Sandesh. Another important factor is decision fatigue. So if we are happen to take more number of decision, then the number of decision depends on the quality of the decisions we take. For example, on a Monday morning, if you're going to a restaurant, and then you have the menu card. Monday morning, our mind will be fresh. We tend to see the menu card, scan the menu card. We might to choose a healthier breakfast. Whereas on a tired day, having taken a lot of decisions on a daytime, if we go at night time, we tend to choose whatever is available and easy. So, so the number of decisions taken on a particular day depends it depends on the quality as well. Next slide, Sandesh. Yeah. So 4 ways we can eliminate this kind of decision fatigue. One is eliminate, simplify, automate, and delegate. My wife used to ask me what to cook for my son. So I simplified the menu for morning. So usually the menu is unchanged for my kid for a week time. Only Saturday, Sunday we used to make a difference in the menu and automate it. We can try to automate a decision if it is a complex thing here, and then delegate. When I go to office, I used to think a lot of time what to wear. So I request my wife to put the dress in my table, so that after I take bath, I'll just wear the dress whatever it is available there. So I don't need to think much on the what to wear. So our daily routine actually matters to combat this decision fatigue. Next, please, Sandesh. So I'll quickly share two scenarios. So this is scenario number one, where you're hearing gunshot. You are in a war position. You are hearing gunshot, and then you are seeing a tank is coming near to you. A friend of you just shot dead. In this this is scenario number one. Next scenario, Santosh. This is scenario number two. You are in a peaceful place, nice sunlight, and then you are able to smell the flower. You have a healthy breakfast and everything. So scenario number one, scenario number two. Which scenario you think you'll be able to make a better decision? Of course, it is scenario B. This is not an hypothetical situation as well. Internally in our mind also, sometimes there are some choirs. We will not be able to make a better decision. Only if your mind is calm and composed, in good state, we'll be able to make good decision. Excellent. So, as Ramasamy mentioned, so anxiety, stress, and depression, all this having a direct relationship with the decision making. So, if you have a good state of mind, we'll be able to make a better decision. Yep. Thank you, team. Thanks, Manoj.
Yeah, thank you, Arun, and brought out some points. So new points, right? Delegation, automating, simplifying. Yeah, those are I think a very important element of decision making that you brought it out, and also you brought it out ego depletion, decision fatigue, and sometimes we are just tired and just like emotionally when we are upset, mad, sad, etc. We can defer decision even when you are very tired and exhausted and there is a decision fatigue. It is better not to take any important decision during that time because we tend to go wrong during that time. Yeah. So process of decision making, some very valuable points. And when you are showing that slide, I remembered E. Sridharan of Delhi Metro. He was asked to nominate the next person who is going to lead Delhi Metro because his time has come for it, retiring. And he said, I will not choose. I will create a process. And that process will choose the next CEO of Delhi Metro. And it is going to be a transparent process. It's going to be an objective process. That is not my personal favoritism, right? The person who butterfly me most. I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to create a process which is very transparent. Everyone can see it, right? How is the selection process is there for the next CEO. And that's a process of decision making. And that's the beauty of a leader like E. Sridharan, who has won so many awards of excellence. In terms of decision making. So transparency, and he delegated the decision to that system and to people. He himself did not choose. He created the system and then delegated it. And so these are important elements of decision making. Creating a process, automating it, simplifying it, delegating it. Yeah. So some wonderful points. Yeah. Great.
Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you. And we move to the last, our love, our favorite Bhaskar. Absolutely a committed learner. And he's very, very dear to us. And yes, Bhaskar, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Manoj. And I'll share the PPT. I think it's visible.
Yes. Okay.
Good morning, friends. Good noon, friends. Good afternoon, friends. Whatever. Okay. As human beings, we are making a lot of decisions. Just 1 minute. A lot of decisions. Every moment we are making decisions. It is happening in every moment. Either it is conscious or unconscious. Okay. So these things, I think I am the 30th person presenting this. So I think it has been many points as repeating in the slides. But today I want to go totally to my personal experience on the decision makings. I think everybody will appreciate that and agree that. So even though I'm giving the point, but mostly I'll be talking on my personal experiences. Okay. So these 3 points already everything is covered. What is the decision making and how to involve evaluating the available questions, considering the potential outcomes and selecting the course of action that best align with your values, priorities, and objectives. These 3 things will be very important. So it actually get in alliance, in congruence with our values, priorities, and objectives. So, but the decision making may be different from so many ranges from small to big. That is okay. So next, why the decision making is so much important. That is also there are so many points. So it defines your life path. You know very well. It build confidence in you. But whatever task you are taking, it will definitely build your confidences. It improves the problem solving skills, strengthens the relationships, and maximize the opportunities. So many, you can have number of choices, then you select the best choice and implement that. Reduce stress and regret. When you are very clear in making the decisions, automatically there is no stress, there is no regret in your life. That's okay. So imagine a business owner deciding whether to invest in a new technology or not. That's what the scenario here. So with the good decision making, so if he's having good decision making means they act impulsively or delay the decisions or potentially missing growth opportunities or wasting the resources. Either one of these will happen if they are without any good decisions. So if they go with a good decision means they evaluate the cost, potential benefits, and risks, then proceed with the confidence, ensuring the business thrives. So this is a 2 different scenario with decision making, without decision making. So decision making is a cornerstone of life. By enhancing your skill, you take control of your destiny, make the most use of your resources, and cultivate a life aligned with your goals and values. This is the basic of the how you are taking the decisions, why you the decisions promptly. Sorry for my throat. There are so many reasons for taking bad decisions in our life. I am the one person made a lot of bad decisions in my life. So one is people pleasing personality. So it automatically everybody involved in this category, people pleasing personality, because every human being and every family person. So they will be the people pleasing personality. So the people personality means it's often driven by the need for approval, belonging, or fear of rejections. So psychologically, this tendency can lead to a prioritize others' desire over own needs, values, and well-beings, making us susceptible to poor decision making. This is the reasons why you are making the decision making, because you are a people-pleasing personality. So what is my experience in this? Okay. So I got one of the basic ambitions in my young ages to get an assignment to the foreign. Okay. So I got 2 assignments, foreign assignments. One is Singapore, one is Canada. But to prioritize others' desires, my family desires, my family members did not agree me to go for a foreign assignments. So I am forced to decide against my wish, because because of my people-pleasing personality. I cannot say, I may not say it is fault or it is a regrettable decision or it is it is happened in my life. Okay, to take care of my family, I have to take these decisions. Anyway, there is a slightest hitch in me. Two assignments I dropped. Okay, that is okay in my life. Okay, so what is the next reason? It is I took the reasons what happened in my life. Okay, undue expectations. So undue expectations means you are expecting more than the reality. Okay, psychologically this term stems from the unmet needs, personal insecurities, and idealized views of others. When these expectations are not met, it often leads to frustration, resentment, and poor decision making, and it will damage the relationship. Mainly, it will damage the relationship. That does happen when you are not meeting your expectations. Okay. So many people experience this in life. How decisions are made with our undue expectations that affects the relationship with their spouse, kids, parents, and friends. So what is my experience in this? Okay. I have only one daughter with me. As a father, I expected my daughter to score top marks in every subject when she did the +2 class. Okay, I believe that only the secure place in her future. Okay, when she performed purely in a subject, I scolded her very harshly and enrolled her in extra classes without asking her inputs. In few days, she became overstressed, not motivated, and felt isolated. I also felt frustrated and misunderstood when our efforts did not yield any results. That slightly weakens the relationship between me and my daughter. But this scenario arises from my undue expectations, which overlooks our individual capabilities and emotional needs. One fine day, she came to me, "Papa, I want to talk to you, just for 1 minute." So this is the greatest alarm statement for me. So once she calls for my negotiation means, sure, I am going to lose the battle. Okay. So I said, okay. Then she explained, "Trust me, this is my life. I will plan how to prepare for my examinations. Leave it to me." That's all, period. She left the place. That's all. So because of my bad decisions, I failed and lost my face in front of my daughter. That day, I lost my battle in front of her. But subsequent years, and when she completed her BTech at NIT Trichy, her MTech at Anna University, her PhD at Anna University again, I finally won the war as a father. Of course, it is not because of all because of her efforts only. I cannot claim anything other than supporting her. And the third point is confirmation bias. So confirmation bias, when people explain why it is happening, how it is happening. Okay, just I am sharing my experiences here. So here I want to share my experiences. It is a wonderful experiences and it is my turning point in my life. It is very important for my life. When I was working with the Salem Steel Plant Central Marketing Organization in Chennai, okay, usually I have very, very strong bias that I can face any kind of challenge. I am a kind of person that I can face any kind of challenge. Whatever it comes, I can face it. And finally, I win the challenge also. Maybe today or tomorrow, definitely I win the challenge. So for that, I will use all the techniques. Okay, whatever may be the techniques, Sama, Veda, Dana, Danda, everything I will use. I will win over the expected challenges. That's my character. That becomes very strong bias within me. Whether it is professional or personal, wherever it may be, that is we can prove. I have a lot of evidences too also. To convince my subconscious mind I am biased on this. So this created a strong bias within me. Any challenge I can win. Any challenge I can win. So at that time, when I was working in the Salem Steel Plant, it is in the year 2006, I shifted my career to marketing. From the plant, I shifted my career in the marketing side at Chennai. It was the day, I still remember the day, it was 31st December 2006. Okay. Everybody was in the celebration mood, New Year celebration. And our office New Year functions are arranged at Hotel Green Park. Me and my friends set all plans to go to the park by evening 6 p.m. So in the morning, I got a call from the Salem. My general manager was online. He said, The quality engineer is coming to attend a quality complaints at Chennai. You just help him to reach out the place. That's all he said. So I said, okay, I can make arrangements. So the person who was supposed to come by 10 o'clock, he came by noon only. Then I arranged a vehicle for him and informed him, you take the vehicle will be with the whole day. You can, whatever you want, you can do that. But he requested me to come along with him because the customer is a very tough customer. And you know how to handle. I do not know how to handle him. You are better person to handle the person. So 36 tons of materials got rejected from his place. Each ton is 3.5 lakhs. This is the situations. So I could have said very much bluntly to his face, no, because that was not my area of responsibility. But I said yes. Because of my confirmed bias, I can face any kind of challenges. The whole day gone, I reached home by 8 o'clock because the whole day I went it's very distant place, Kelambakam, and came back. All my programs got collapsed. Okay, 8 o'clock I came. My family refused to come because it's too late to come to the Green Park Hotel. My friend booked a cab and we both sat in the back seat. He was very angry with me. And I said, it is okay. At least now I started just to pacify him. Once I said this, he became very wild. He came very close to me and started to shout on me. You want to know how close he is to me? This much is close to me. And he started to shout on me. Okay. He started to talk with a very high voice. I'm closely observing you for a while. You are consciously inviting challenges which are unwanted and unuseful to you and suck all your energy also. Your determination is fabulous toward winning the challenges. Your commitment is 100% to win your challenges. You are focused 100%. All are okay. But whatever comes in front of you, you consider that as a challenge. And use all your energy, resources, and time to win over the challenges. But one thing you have not realized, and repeat the sentence, but one thing you not realize, you do not use your common senses to differentiate whether it is a useful challenges to face and win or unuseful challenges to ignore and let go. This is the greatest deficiency you are having. And I understood that almost 50% of the challenges that you are facing are unuseful challenges only. You recollect in your past, okay? And you waste all your energies, resources, and time fulfilled wanted the challenges. Wake up, man, at least now. Count how many years gone through like this. Okay, I got the realization now. This is all because of my confirmed bias. I got this realization at the age of 46 only. Still, I remember the date, the time. It is 2006, December 31st, 9:40 p.m. at the night. Okay, that moment, that time, that place was my Bodhi Mara, means my wisdom tree. My life took a U-turn there. Okay, that day only. From that day, I consciously selected useful challenges only, and rest I ignored. Almost 50% of my lifetime, how many unuseful challenges I faced, I am calculating. Just I could not count all that. How much energy, how much resources, how much time I wasted because of my bad decisions based on my bias. I got the realization that being aware of confirmation bias is deliberately questioning your assumptions. You can make more balanced, informed decisions. So this is what this thing. So what are the three improvement? Okay, these already people have explained to me to your day. So now this is the things I got in order. See, this is the Paramapadam is a metaphor my personal decision making process. Okay, so this is programmed decisions and non-programmed decisions. This is because whenever I'm taking a good decision, I'm going in front of the ladder. I go to the next level and finally achieve victory. Whenever I make a bad decision, I got a just snack bite, and I go down my lower positions, and at the same time I enhance my wisdom also. This is how I'm looking at the my personal decisions. And this is a chessboard. This is for corporate decisions. So I purposely put the king in the front because I am. This is the metaphor for corporate level of decision makings. So in this image, I put the king in the front because if I make the decision, I want the total responsibility as a king. I should be in front level only. I should be. While making all the decisions at corporate level, we cannot make everybody happy. That depends. And to make the corporate win, we make strategic decisions, tactical decisions, and operational decisions depending upon the situations. And this is the final learnings, me and I am. It means my decisions. My decisions means my victory and my wisdom. So finally, is it a bad decision or is it a good decision? Can we reframe it? This is a useful decision that led me to victory. I am reframing like that. This is a not useful decisions that brings me wisdom, and vice versa also it happens. So it can both ways way on. So this is the final outcome from me, and I am renaming the bad decisions as wisdom giving decisions. I am reframing the good decision victory giving decisions. So this is finally I am giving for thank you for the opportunity, and make a decision, make it right, do that, then you die. That is my do that, then you die. That is my universe message. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Santosh, the strict officer, and thank you all my friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, I took a little higher time, but I want to share what my experiences to you. Thank you so much.
I mean, your enthusiasm, you build it up, especially towards the end, right? I think I'm going to use this. There are two kinds of decision. One gives you victory-giving decision, and one wisdom-giving decision.
Even though it is a bad decision, wisdom-giving decisions.
Yeah.
So bad decision means my subconscious is bad. It's bad. Okay, it's a wisdom-giving decisions. That is victory-giving decisions. That's why. So to make happy my subconscious, I made the names. People you can very well use these names in the course also. You can use it. I'm going to use it.
Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, that's a nice way to phrase it. When you make a bad decision, learn from it, and when you learn from it, it turns into wisdom.
Yes.
Right. Oh, thank you for this experience. Hey, life, thank you for this experience. I've learned a valuable lesson. And once you learn the lesson and you integrate that lesson, it turns into wisdom. Right. And usefulness, and that's also a nice useful challenge. I think
unuseful challenge.
Unuseful challenge. Even our thoughts, instead of positive, negative, one of the best way to classify is useful thoughts and not useful thoughts. Right? Pick out the useful thoughts and then implement them. So even decision making, taking up challenges which are useful and which are not useful. Useful in the sense that it is aligned to your purpose, goals, and vision,
yes.
Values.
Whether it's giving you growth in the process, that is okay. Whether it's diminishing your process, it is not okay. But it may also vice versa work in some other occasion, some other time. So it is not consistent and constant. Okay, change is always.
You spoke from the heart, right from people pleasing to confirmation bias, right? Undue expectations, all the way to wisdom giving decision to victory giving decision. Excellent, a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Bhaskaran.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think very inspiring. I feel very inspired now. I feel a sense of motivation, and the decision shapes our life, and this knowledge gives us motivation to take, not to be lazy, and to follow a process that helps us to take the best possible decision. Like as a student, I'm still a student now. I'm enrolled in a university as well, in a medical university. And what matters is not so much about how much marks you get. What matters is how sincerely you study. Right? And if you sincerely study, majority of the time you'll get good marks. Sometimes the question could go this way or that way. But majority of the time, if you sincerely study, you will get good marks. So majority of the time, if you follow a proper process, your decisions will go right. Right? So how you take decision? What factors influence you to take a decisions? Right? So you need to figure out a way, a process to take decisions. And this process, you can teach it to others also. Like if you're a manager and if you get promotion and the junior manager, and you can tell them that the junior person, this is how you need to take this decision, right? Because if you have a process, if you have a framework, you can teach it to others also. You can teach to your children. Dr. Stephen Covey, author of 7 Habits, used to teach his children how to take decisions, principle-centered decisions, right? This is my so he had a principle-centered, value-based decision-making process, and he used to teach his kids, right? And that would be wonderful. So how you take decisions? And a lot of valuable learnings in today's presentation. We have one final day, which is on Wednesday, 7 to 10, and that we conclude this 4-day presentations on decision making. So thank you once again for all of you for having joined here. And collectively, our aim is to grow and to inspire ourselves and inspire people around us to contribute to the society with our positivity, right? With our wisdom and with our love and affection that we have for ourselves and for others. So thank you once again.
It's a win-win-win.
It's a win-win-win. Thank you, especially for all
Thank you.
us today, for contributing to our
Thank you. Thank you.
knowledge and wisdom.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you. Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Sir, thanks, Santosh. Thanks to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you all presenters and thank you all colleagues.
Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Manoj.
you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.